Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lyds, and we're back for some more Thronebreaker, and last time, we successfully made our way into Yizkith, which has been unsettling thus far, to say the least. But we did get off to a pretty convincing start against a random group of necrophages of some variety, relying very heavily on our new Skellige cards, and those, let me tell you, are very quickly rising up to the top of my list of favorite cards that we've had thus far. As for what we're planning to do next year, we may or may not have also activated some kind of voodoo doll-like thing that was suggesting that, Meve is, gonna get backstabbed or killed in some way, shape, or form. But, we'll try not to get too concerned about that. But we are back on low morale, unfortunately. Then again, we won pretty convincingly on low morale for our previous encounter. But as where we'd like to go next, we know there's a bridge here that is broken that we could pay some wood to reconstruct to make our way through here. Generally speaking, though, those are just shortcuts, and we can save ourselves a little bit of resources if we find the way around. That being said, I didn't think there was a way through over here, and unless this pathway does actually go through the woods over here, despite not actually seeing the path continue, this might be the only way to make that happen, so I'm not sure what our approach is going to be there. But that suggests that either we go further to the east here, or perhaps more likely further south. Now, we do certainly expect to run into Gernakora sometime in the relatively near future. How near, that I am not sure of. But I think we need to be on guard, especially after being on low morale after that most recent encounter. I would rather we not go straight into a fight with Gernakora, because I'd like to at least be on neutral, but okay, not gonna lie, I saw those little, I'm blanking out on what those are called, but I thought that was some ghosts that were showing there. Okay, this does not look like Gernakora. In fact, it's a puzzle, which I'm very happy to see. It's been a long time since we had our last puzzle, because that should mean we do not need to use our own deck. We should have a unique deck specific to the puzzle. So I'm all for it, but beforehand, perhaps we just nab some stuff here if we can. Also, learn a little bit more about the area. Okay, so yeah, I wasn't sure. As I said, part of me was thinking maybe this right here was going to end up being Gernakora. Yes, relatively soon after getting into Yizkith, but maybe that bridge was kind of a gateway over to Gernakora. Point of interest, battle. I mean, it seems like she's being built up as if she is sort of like the final enemy of this area. Last major encounter, so maybe that means she's all the way over here or here. Actually, what does the main quest say our task is? Just leave? So, maybe that is Gernakora over there. I don't know. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, as we are expecting to have what looks like an Arrakis of sorts for a puzzle right here. So let's see what this is all about. In theory, our deck doesn't matter. We just need to solve the puzzle. So, abandoned village. The Nilfgaardians had ambitious, far-reaching plans for Ungren. Drain the swamp. Well, that's... yeah, I mean, given how huge this place is, and given how treacherous this place is, that is, seemingly would be a tall task. Fell its trees, also, not that straightforward, and use the fertile, peat-rich soil for farming. Yeah, I don't know if you want to be farming in this area. Even if you do chop down the trees and drain the swamp, I think this place is a little bit too cursed for that. It was for this purpose settlers from the south made their way there. They did not, however, endure long. The Nilfgaardian peasants' shacks are now lifeless, the interiors stained with blood. Somehow, I do not doubt that. Eliminate all foes. I mean, it's almost like a battle, but it's one round. Custom deck specific to the puzzle. Special rules. It is a puzzle. Okay. So what is the deal? We have to destroy all of them. So that seems pretty straightforward. We have no leader ability. They have no leader ability. What do we have here? Death Wish. Draw 2 cards. We've already passed, so that you would think wouldn't do anything. Draw more cards. Draw more cards. There are different numbers of cards that they draw. Do we have cards that their effects differ depending on how many cards our opponent has? Damage all units in this row by 3. Oh, and it's spawning, so we played on their side. Yep. Whenever a unit appears on this row, damage it by 3. Okay. Move 3. Okay, we've seen plenty of slingers before. So you'd think you'd move everything onto the same row, or as many things as you can, and then hit it with a trap like this. Damage an enemy by 3, charges 2 whenever an ally is destroyed. Gain 1 charge. I remember once a while ago, we had a puzzle that used the Rivia and Onager in a very unconventional way, where we had to like destroy our own unit to make this work. So I'm already suspicious, and I remember that was a really tricky one. So I'm worried. Destroy the unit to the right and boost. Okay, well, use the Forger to destroy an Onager or the Slinger. Destroy the unit to the right and boost health by its power. If it's an artifact, boost health by the current power instead. Okay. I mean, mostly just seems like a math problem. Getting as much damage as possible. The tricky thing is that we can't fit everybody in the same row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can usually fit 9 cards in a row, at least in multiplayer Gwent. I think it's the same thing in Thronebreaker, right? So that would mean we can move 2 more over, and then we'd put Pitfall Trap. I mean, conveniently, you could... Oh, no, you can move 3. Okay, how do we approach that, then? Whenever an ally is destroyed, gain 1 charge. I think... I mean, I have no idea what to make of all this card drawing nonsense. I feel like we play Onagers early, try to destroy something in this row, so that we can then play this Slinger to move everything into this row, and then play the Pitfall Trap, damage almost everything, then use Forger to destroy Slinger, get extra charges on the Onagers. Is that enough to take these guys out? I don't really know. I don't really know. So let's experiment a bit here and see what ends up happening. So only when an ally unit is destroyed, not when an opposing unit is destroyed. Let's just see. Let's just see. So we should have enough damage between these two to destroy precisely 1 of those guys. Oh, we draw. Oh. What? Okay, now this is okay. Well, that explains a lot. But suddenly, this is another instance of card abilities in multiplayer Gwent having slight differences, despite having exactly the same description. Slight differences in Thronebreaker. The way this is phrased in multiplayer Gwent, this would give our opponents card draw. It would not give us card draw. So it would have to say opponent draws 1 card for that to be the case. So I was not expecting that. Destroy the highest ally and play 2 allies from your graveyard. Huh. Okay. Get 1 charge when someone gets destroyed. Okay, so we basically just need to chain kills. Enough so to continue drawing cards. And the enemies with more power draw more cards for us. We went after a little one, and so we got a little bit of card draw. Destroys highest ally. Play 2 allies from graveyard. That would suggest we destroy 1, and then we replay the one that we destroyed, and also the one that we discard. So I think it's Slinger now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we can move 3 in there and still have room for a Pitfall Trap later on. I think it's Slinger now. Oh, we need to end our turn. Right. Slinger now. Move 1, 2, and 3. And nothing else we can do in this turn. But now we go forward to destroy the unit to the right. That's spying, so it's not as if destroying a trap is going to do anything for us anyway. So destroy you.
Oh, be ashamed to let this beauty go to waste.
Then that gives us more charges here. So now we have, what, 6 damage, which is still not enough. But if we were to go... Yeah, Marjoram destroys Forager. So that's the next play. I assume that we can play both of them once again. Yeah. Okay. Hoping they go in this order. Yeah, so we use you. We are going to have to move some people over to the other row. So might have actually been better to go pit... Probably was better to do Pitfall Trap first, to be honest. Okay, we might not get this for that reason. But I think we are onto something. So, because we want to have these all lined up like this for the trap. That was sort of perfect timing. We had set it up, but we may still be able to make this work, but we'll see. So, assuming we're still going after the weak stuff, but we kind of want to keep the weak stuff in this. Can we just reset now? I really want to redo that previous start. Fine, we'll move you again and damage you. Now you're all tied on 12. We do this. We destroy you. Give you more charges. So now we can go. And we have what, 9 damage apiece? Should be enough to destroy you. And you're more valuable than destroying you. So we do that. But again, this pretty darn sure would have been more meaningful to have done if we lined everything up properly for a more effective Pitfall Trap. What do you guys do, though? War Wagon. Oh, it has been a long time since we've seen one of these, right? Spawn 3 light infantry. Damage a random enemy by 6 when they get destroyed. So we want to destroy those cards, which is a little bit easier said than done. Yeah, I'm not sure we can... Damage 3. We have 6, yeah, so we only have enough to do 9 damage right now. Unless... Yeah, this is only enemy units, so it's not as if we can even make that work out. Yeah, so we already lost. I mean, as we kind of suspected, I know what we did wrong. So, let's just restart this real quick. Okay, now can I remember the way in which we did this last time? Hopefully. So it was Onager... 1 and 2. Onager 2, 3. Then it's Slinger and Pitfall Trap before we use Forager. That's where we messed up last time. So let's move you guys in. Then it's this. Got a little too carried away when we put the Slinger down, getting all excited with the Forager. So we do this. Okay. Now it's Forager, destroy the unit to the right. Which means you. Gives you charges. And now we destroy highest unit. And replay both of you. Now it doesn't matter if we move things out of this row because we've already gotten the maximum benefit out of the Pitfall Trap. But which cards do we need to weaken to set ourselves up for the best card draw? Because what if we're going to end up getting... okay, that's the thing we could have double-checked, is exactly how much damage we're going to get on these Onagers when everything is said and done here. We're going to get... let's see, we destroyed 1, and then when we replay you, we're going to destroy another. So you should have 2 charges apiece for 12 damage total, I think. Which is enough for one of you. I assume we're going to draw cards in the exact same order that we drew them previously. Still not sure this is actually going to work, but we'll see. What did we just say? We're going to have 12... How much damage do you do? Damage them by 2. So damage you, knock you down to 7. Still not enough to destroy 2 of them. Damage you, knock you down to 9. It's enough to get 1. So that does actually seem like that's the best value at the moment. Hit you, drop down to 15, and that's not good enough for us. Well, actually, hold on. No, we've 2 charges right now. We should have 1 more piece when we use the Forager, so you'll be at 3 each. It means 9 damage each for 18 total, which means we should be able to destroy you to draw 3 cards. We could even weaken you a little bit. I think we're going after you.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
So we damage you. We have 15 damage that we need for that. We just established we're gonna have. Now I'm losing track of all this stuff. 18 total. So we'll have 3 damage left. Basically 1 extra charge. I'm gonna guess we're gonna want a little increment on one of those Arrakis drones, but I can't say for certain. Let's do a little bit of everything. Okay, then, what, oh, yes, you. I thought it was, going straight into Rivia and Onager, and I was like, no, I'm not trying to do that right now. So do this.
Use it.
Destroy you, get you boosted. Now, we should have the damage to destroy you, and we're gonna have 1 extra charge remaining, and I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna use that just yet, but... We do this. Draw 3 cards. Okay, we do still get those guys, but I think... I don't know about these guys. I don't know about these guys. Oh. Wait a second. Are we supposed to use the slinger to destroy these light infantry? I feel like that might be the case. Not exactly sure how we make that work, but I'm starting to theorize that would be true, because, I mean, otherwise, these war wagons are just not able to destroy any of our opponent's cards by themselves. They need something else to give them that firepower.
All, but you won't.
And we were just asking ourselves, what do we do with the slinger? Because, I mean, yeah, we weakened some of their cards, but wasn't really enough to make a huge difference. It allowed us to take out... Oh, that came back, didn't it? Huh. Interesting. Interesting, because we can't hit any of you with this, as we previously established. We can move you. That wouldn't really affect anything. Could Forager... Yeah, or with a different order of operations, we could potentially use a Forager to destroy one of these guys, but it seems like Slinger is by far the most efficient way to do it, because it can destroy 3 in one go. And then I don't know how we guarantee that we get the value from the light infantry hitting the unit that we want to actually get a kill in the process, but okay. Because yeah, I mean at this point, like, this is what it means. We can do this all we want. It's not gonna change anything. So this doesn't damage anything, and we can't just outscore them. We need to destroy everything. Okay, so we're not there yet, and in fact, I think we're further away from the solution than I had first thought. So this one's a lot trickier than I was originally making it out to be, I think. Huh. Okay. Yeah, because we went Slinger first. I mean, did we destroy an Onager with the Forager? I wouldn't have thought so, but I just don't know how to delay the Slinger long enough that we get it on the board, or that we are using it when we have the war wagons, because in the past, by the time we got the war wagons out, we had already used the Slinger. I'm not exactly sure how to change that. I mean, I think we do still need to play it first. Is there anything we could change here? What if we move things into that row? It means there'll be more gigantic Rakai that we're targeting, whereas we move everything back into this row, as we did previously. More of the drones, which are weaker, but less significant. Oh, we didn't play this first anyway. Did these... Okay. What if... When we did that so we could clear enough space for the pitfall trap. I'm just wondering if we can be more ambitious with this original set of onagers and pitfall traps, and if maybe it actually is better to not use the slinger here. We just go straight into the pitfall trap. This one is... I mean, as I kind of anticipated, the Rivia and onagers are really messing with me because they are very counterintuitive. Okay, let's try to do similar to what we did before. And just see if there's a slight modification that we can make that I perhaps did not initially think of. So if we go slinger here, we move 3 into this row. Then I wanted to do, or I did do, actually, pitfall trap. Yeah, okay. Just start doing it the way that I did before. The further along we get, the more we should look at slight modifications we can make. So it was pitfall trap in this row with a bunch of stuff. I mean, that makes sense. Line everything up for the maximum value on pitfall trap. Thus far, that seems to check out. Destroy the highest ally by 2 allies from graveyard. And the only way we can make this work is if we use the Forager, because otherwise we don't have 2 allies in our graveyard. And it works really well because he naturally becomes the highest ally. But then I don't want to be playing the Slinger. I don't want to be forced to play the Slinger there. So what if we deliberately destroy Rivia and Onager instead? That seems crazy to me, but we'll give it a shot. Because this would normally power up a Rivia and Onager. So that seems really counterintuitive to do it that way. But maybe, as we were saying, that's one of the things that makes this so hard to do. Now, but this was how we were also replaying the Slinger. Yeah, this one's really messing with me. This one is really messing with me. So, I mean, what else do you do if not that?
Only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
So we found that... So this is almost the same thing we did before. I'm surprised we still ended up with the same number of charges on these onagers. But this time we have Slinger still in our graveyard. We know that the next 3 cards that we draw are all going to be these war wagons. It seems like this is in order. Yeah, then we just need 1 more card drawn than we got last time. Because if we do that, then we get this Stray Slinger, and then we can suddenly capitalize on all the war wagon light infantry that we spawn in. So maybe it was just that we targeted the wrong cards with the onagers last time. Because now we've dealt less damage to the enemies than we did compared to last time. We went for one of the big guys last time, didn't we? We had 18 damage, so we could destroy you. But, yeah. Like, rather than going for you and only you to get 3 cards, could we have... Instead, if we had an extra Slinger, drop you down to 9 apiece, then we could get 2 of you destroyed, and that means we can get 4 cards? I think that's the answer. Okay. So, we were closer last time. It was just that we targeted the wrong units, I think. We're getting there. We're getting there. As I said, really tough. But it is... You. You. We can destroy this. Draw this. Now we move everyone. We do want to target specifically the gigantic Arakai. At least 2 of them. The third may not matter as much, so I think we actually do go after you. Then it's this. Damage all these guys significantly. Then it's this.
Use it. Not sure for what just yet, but
Save these for now, I suppose. Then it's this. You, then you. So it's not that slinger that we're gonna end up replaying. It's a different one. So here's what we need to do. We need to move these two to drop them down to 9 power. That's critically important. And these become the targets.
if the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Because last time we went for you, and then we, I think, just had an odd, like, a insufficient amount of damage to get any other death wishes triggered. But yeah, this is the most efficient way, and, you know, it was the perfect amount of damage, so that probably, the closer look should have been a little more obvious. So now we're going to get 2 of the war wagons now, then we're going to get 1 war wagon, and we're going to get one of the, another slinger out once we do this. And that slinger is the missing piece that we so desperately needed before. So now we play one of you.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I
And now we can use the slinger to destroy you
Ever have a
and
storm knock out one
deal 18 damage in the process, which technically could hit any of a number of things, so there is actually some RNG in this aspect. I swear if this doesn't kill anything. Oh, but it does give us charges on the onager as well. That still counts. Okay, so we should still be fine. So now, okay, let's take a little bit of time to check things out here. That seems pretty efficient. 2 charges for 2 cards. And then... that's 3 charges for 3 cards. So, you know, a card per charge, basically, in either case. Yeah, those remain the best deals. And we should be able to afford both of those things, right? Oh, except I miscounted. Well, it is still enough for us to do both those things. Okay, we'll have to double check as to the things we can do now. Get more light infantry. We really need another... oh. Another slinger to make use of that. Damage unit by 2. That could be one of our own units if it was destroyed. Repeat. Ah, okay. This is amazing for us. Okay, this is basically a game winner, I would think. This is going to give us the last 2 cards anyway. What does this do? Damage 3 units by 3. If already damaged, destroy them instead. Okay, so I think this is our cleanup job, in case there's anything left at the end, but I think we're pretty darn close now. So we just basically war wagon like crazy. Just make sure that we have enough room for at least 1 Rivia and Sapper, because this is gonna do a whole lot of work for us.
You can try to win them all, but you
1,
won't.
2, 3, 4, 5. This means that will fill an entire row if we play you here.
Can't take it anymore.
Should fill perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is another 4. So we have 8. Then we can fit 1 more, which is the Sapper. Okay, so we do this.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I
And then we just go crazy with the Rivia and Sapper now.
It's gonna be
Destroying
a right
all
good
of these.
levy, big and beautiful.
And I do quite literally mean all of them. And this should absolutely do the trick. If it doesn't directly through the random damage that comes from these, certainly using the onagers, because we're going to get a bazillion charges from this. And then we can hit, the card draw doesn't really matter anymore, but just hit you for the sake of hitting you. Here comes the random damage. Not enough by itself, not quite, but I think this will do. I think this will do. Alright, that one was tough. I mean, granted, part of it was that we got close enough, but not close enough to feel like we were nearly there, but not quite, but far enough away that it felt like we needed to make some changes, and it was like, well, how do we make that happen? But we made it work, and we got Cadaverin. Let's maybe we'll loot this stuff for a second. This looks like this might give us more than just loot, more than just resources. Well, I was wrong. But what exactly does that card do? Same thing we saw in the puzzle. Damage 3 units by 3 if already damaged, destroy them instead. I mean, that seems pretty incredible. That seems like that's basically just a better version of Northern Wind. Well, Northern Wind may be more effective if our opponent has more units on the board, because this can hit an unlimited, or up to 18, because that's the maximum number of units, whereas this can only hit 3. But this just deals a little bit of damage to them, and a somewhat significant amount of damage if they're already damaged. In this case, though, if they're already damaged, they get completely removed, guaranteed. So that, wait, restraint? Oh, right, yeah, no bosses, understandably. For a second, I read restraint and thought resilience, and I was like, how does this have resilience? It's not something that stays on the board, so that was confusing for a minute, but okay. So yeah, there actually is a use case for Northern Wind over Cadaverin in some instances, depends on what type of deck your opponent is using, but I am very intrigued by Cadaverin, and I think Northern Wind is the most obvious thing. Or actually, we can fit another one in here altogether if we really want to. Problem there is, as I think we started to see, when you have this many trinkets, it means you have very few other units. And these are usually Northern Wind and probably Cadaverin as well. Cards that you don't really want to be playing early, because you need to, ideally, damage some stuff before you play them to get the full value out of them. So I think we will still drop Northern Wind and maybe add it back in later, but want to make sure we have enough cards in our hand, units in our hand, to do all the Skellige stuff that we've been doing as of late, because that has been very impressive thus far. Alright, so a tricky but fun puzzle there. And oh, I'm very surprised that there is a shrine over there, I believe. I think I was saying last time that I suspected there would be no shrines in this area at all, because it just seemed like, you know, the kind of place where there wouldn't be a lot of that type of hopeful prayer going on. Oh, there's a little bit more here while we're at it. Oh, okay. This is perhaps the kind of thing that I was expecting to see before. A letter from Ragbard, Lord of Temeria, Mahakam, and the Pontar. Huh. That's, we saw this name before as the person who was technically the leader, the ruler of Ongren. But I didn't remember that he was technically ruler of Temeria, Mahakam, and all those other things as well. Because at least in the Witcher 1, 2, 1 and 2, I guess, and stops then, King Foltest is the leader, the king of those places. Obviously, things happen. But I'll leave it at that to minimize the spoilers if you haven't played, but obviously you should. Yeah, do we know definitively where exactly this is supposed to line up relative to the Witcher trilogy timeline? Or is it completely I mean, there's a lot of overlap, right? So you would think that it is supposed to be still existing in the same world. Like Demivind, we saw Demivind previously, and he's absolutely in the Witcher trilogy. But yeah, does this technically happen a little bit before? Because Nilfgaard raiding the north is, of course, also spoilers, I guess, something that happens in the Witcher trilogy. But what? I guess we're further south than we were in the Witcher trilogy, so presumably that means this is a little bit before the Witcher 3 or Witcher trilogy 1, 2, 3. Because we're encountering Nilfgaard before they would have made the way up to Temeria. So I read your letter with keen interest. Yizgith indeed sounds like a horrid place. Yep, thus far, can confirm, although I'm sure it only gets worse from here on out. It comes as no wonder the elves surrendered it without a fight. In any case, the felling must continue. Construction of Tuzla Castle has proven difficult due to a scarcity of strong, stable building materials. The wood? I think there'd be plenty of wood around it, but then again, they're probably trying to build their castle out of stone, right? And that is, of course, also the castle where we just fought and defeated our not-so-friendly traitor, whose name currently escapes me. It's okay, he's in the past now anyway. And the more I think about it, the less I can recall his name. He's in the past now, he doesn't matter anymore. And then as soon as I stop thinking about it, I'm gonna remember his name, but alas. Let's see, so we require 24 oaks, aged 100 years or more at absolute minimum. I mean, I think you'd have plenty of wood here. I'm relying on you, Drogovit. Do not disappoint me. You shall see the full extent of my generosity, Ragbard. It's like, is Ragbard the father of Foltest? or something? Caldwell. Caldwell's the person I'm thinking of course. As I'm sure you've already been screaming. Liz, how could you possibly forget? You know. Okay. So, there's still this area over here. We now know that that's a puzzle. One would assume that does not mean that Gurnakora is over there. We have some kind of other point of interest here in other battles. I would think that that means that Gurnakora is going to end up appearing much later on. I mean, I'm sure we'll have more build-up than we've had thus far. We've already had some for sure. But some additional things that tie in to Gurnakora. But I think this is a good place for us to wrap up here. Oh, right, yeah, we're still in low morale because that was technically a puzzle, not a battle. But we could go back to this shrine to restore a little bit of morale. I think ideally we'd like to try to power through one more encounter to at least get ourselves to neutral before we do that. Maybe that'll be this, or maybe that'll be one of these battles right here. But I think, as I said, this is probably a good place for us to wrap up here. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time. I may have almost said stream. No, it's a video, but I'll catch you next time.